You vehicle transporters, we are transporting a vehicle retailing for $305,000. It's a Freightliner with a camper, beautiful camper built on. Very nice ride. Now, this lesson is called Save Your Butt. This lesson is worth thousands of dollars. And I know $1,000 right off the bat. So we're just going to imagine you're going down the road with this vehicle, a nice 65 miles an hour, the legal speed limit, and the man in front of you in a construction zone hits a plastic barrel. I mean, he just shatters the damn thing and drives it up against the Jersey barrier on the passenger side. A piece of that barrel, the base, comes up and puts a scratch, not just a scuff, not a scratch, a gouge in your unit. Now, I have taken a piece of white electric tape and cut it to about the shape of that scratch, and this is from experience. The scratch, there was no dent, just a scratch in that unit. I've cut it in about the shape of that scratch. Now, this is on the side of this gorgeous unit. There's just about no way that an inspector is not going to pick that right out. It's on near the front, and this is from a true story. What the heck am I going to do? I know that that scratch is at least worth $1,000 from that dealer, who is a crook anyway, usually, and they're going to overcharge you for that scratch to touch it up. Now, immediately look through every drawer in this unit, and you should find jars on the better units, not the cheaper ones, but the better high-end units. You'll find touch-up paint, and you'll find 2 or 3 bottles, whatever color, like that gold on the top and the brownish copperish on the bottom. You'll find jars of those touch-up paints, and the red, they'll have in there exact matches. If not, here's the $1 million lesson, and if anybody asks you, you didn't hear this from me, okay? All right, so we got a scratch. We can't get rid of it. You can't hide it. You can't pay the inspector to overlook it. It's just there. The paint is gone straight down to the metal or the fiberglass. It's not a scratch or a scuff you can repair. It's gone. So, what you're going to do, you're either going to turn this unit in and get charged to thousands of dollars, or here's an alternative. You're going to take photos with your camera of different angles of this, and then take it in the sunlight, in the shade. Also take it with your flashlight, holding the flashlight directly on it, so that you can see the different shades and colors. Then you're going to go to an auto store, AutoZone, Advanced Auto, whatever you choose, and take those pictures of the color of the paint you're trying to match, and start holding them up. All the sample little bottles, hold the sample bottles up, because there's a color on the end of each bottle, and start matching that as close as you can, either darker or lighter, and make sure that you notice if it has metal flake chips in it. That's very important. So you start matching that, and you buy at least 3 to 5 of those touch-up containers. They're going to cost about usually $4 to $8 a piece. Doesn't matter, because you're dealing with a $1,000 scratch here. So you're going to buy 3 to 5 of those that are anywhere close, and you're to buy darker ones and lighter ones. And you're going to come back, take a little cap off a paint can or anything, a little piece of a cup, and you're going to start mixing these paints until you can get as close a match as possible to that paint. And make sure it's stirred well before you try to match it up. And you're going to match it up with a little bit on the edge of it. You're not going to do the scratch yet. A little bit on the edge to see how it matches. Now, You're also going to buy a can of lacquer thinner that's about $5 or $6 to remove that paint that you put here. It'll take it right off. All right? You're going to clean the wound with lacquer thinner. Never touch it with your fingers because there's oil on your fingers that'll make that paint not stick. Then you're going to take, and well, another clue is, if you have it available and you're trying to match this color to put in there, and you think you've got it close, your best bet, and you didn't hear this from me, is to find a woman to take a look at it for you. Because my sister, my oldest sister, Terrell, has a color eye that is so far better than mine, and for some reason, I don't know why, women have a better sense of color matching 5 times over at least than men. So if you get a chance and you think you got it matched, ask a woman. Okay? Now the color, you don't have to worry about the color fading because these touch-up paints are made with acetone, and it's actually just fingernail polish. So that it doesn't fade when it dries, when the chemical evaporates like other paints. Anyway, you'll take and get that matched as close as you can. Then you're going to buy a roll of blue masking tape. Don't get the yellow or white, get the blue, it's the best. All right, and then you're going to tape this off. So I'll tape it off and I'll come right back to it. Now, as you can see, here's the original scratch that we did, the great big scratch. And before you do all this, I forgot to mention, take your lacquer thinner in just this area and paper towels and clean the oil and road grime and whatever out of that scratch so the paint sticks to it good. All right, then you're gonna masking tape, and you can see I left this not stuck down. So you can see there's several pieces of tape here to get that exact shape of the scratch. You don't want to paint the rest of the coach. So you're going to tape this right on the edge of that scratch all the way around. This is still a gouge, the paint's missing. Then you're going to take and put paper towels, whatever, around here in at least 1.5 feet around in every direction and all the way to the ground, because the paint will settle. Then you're going to take this paint that you matched up and you're going to, if you're going to spray, but you're going to paint it on. So you're going to take your paintbrush that comes with the touch-up paint and you're going to paint that an even level layer across there. Now understand that this is nothing but fingernail polish with color in it, with that color in it, and it shrinks like crazy. So what you're going to do is let that dry for half an hour and paint it again. And what you'll have is the thickness of this paint that's on there is thick. So you need at least 2, maybe 3 layers of paint to bring it up to the level of that paint. Now, you're going to wait till that totally dries. You're going to carefully take the tape out. Make sure that you've got the entire thing filled at least even or higher than that. Now you will get 2000 grit wet sandpaper. And what you do is 2000 grit is almost a polishing compound. And you will take this tape all off and then tape around the edges so that you don't over sand, and leave about 1/4 inch all the way around, tape it again, and then very lightly with wet the sandpaper and the RV, and then gently take the high sides off of there till it's level. And this will be level with a little bit of a cast in it from you not matching properly. You'll never get it 100%. So what you're going to do is get that level down, buff it with your, once you get it sanded down level, nice and gently, you'll buff it with your mother's chrome polish that we showed you for fixing scratches. Then you'll take all the tape off of there, and you will take Lemon Pledge and just sort of lightly spray it all over this whole section, and don't wipe it off. And what it'll do is leave like a dull, almost a dull film. It'll almost look like this. This is leftover glue from the factory that they haven't taken off. But it'll look almost like that. Compared to this, it'll look like that. And it will make it so the guy walks by it, or even if he brushes it with his hand, he'll notice it's just wax. And he may not notice that scratch, but even if he notices the scratch, it's more than likely he's going to write that down as factory damage. Okay? Now, if you did it with their touch-up paint, you stand a good chance. But some of these get pretty complex. Look at this. This is like a darker brown, and it fades to black and then directly into white. So some of these places are tough to match. You want to get it so it looks like it's a factory error, not driver damage. Driver damage is easily worth at least $1,000 for that scratch. And they're going to fix it up for $5 with the touch-up paint. Okay, if you have to, there's color matching places for commercial auto places that'll match that color with a computer almost perfectly. If you have the time to spend with that, or you don't mind saving $1,000, go there and take the pictures of that paint and have them match the color with touch-up paint. Okay, if it's a dent and the paint's missing, that's a serious concern. If you're very far away from delivery, I suggest you stop at a body shop and ask them to touch that up for you. Because they'll match the color and touch it. It may cost you a couple $100, but it's not going to cost you the $1,000. Because he'll take and fill that dent, smooth it out, polish it out, prep it, prime it, paint it, and blend it. And then just like on your automobile, you won't notice it. And if it even takes you an extra day, call and tell them your tow car broke down or something, anything, to get the time to get that repaired. Or just pay the $1,000. But once you do that, they're going to take next time $1,500 escrow, and the next dent is going to cost you $1,500 and probably your job. So good luck on any damage. You're responsible for that coach from the minute you sign the bill of lading at the factory till the minute that idiot signs it at the dealership. You're responsible for everything on that vehicle. So learn to deal with it or live with it. All right, hope this helps out.